The power of love. How to find your happiness in the happiness of others. The transformative essence of love. Finding joy in another's happiness. To love is to find one's own happiness in the happiness of another. This profound statement by philosopher and mathematician Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz resonates as a universal truth yet presents a challenge. How can we live by this principle in a world that constantly urges us to prioritize ourselves? For many, love is often perceived as a transaction or exchange, but Leibniz invites us to transcend this narrow view and embrace love as an expansive force capable of transforming not just our relationships but our entire lives. When we talk about finding happiness in another's happiness, we're exploring a concept far deeper than the act of giving or receiving. It's about genuine surrender, a state of mind where another's joy becomes an integral part of our own. Imagine this. When you see someone you love smiling, when you realize that your smallest actions have brought relief or joy to another person, what do you feel? That warmth in your chest, that sense of purpose, is living proof that shared happiness is the purest and most profound kind of joy. But why is this so powerful? Because living to make others happy doesn't mean losing yourself or forgetting your own needs. Instead, it expands who you are. When your happiness becomes inherently linked to the well-being of others, you open yourself to infinite possibilities for personal, spiritual, and even financial growth. This happens because you tap into a greater energy, a cycle of giving, reciprocity, and abundance. This vision of love as a gift of fullness has deep roots in spirituality. Many traditions speak of the concept of unity, the idea that, at our core, we are all part of something greater. When you help someone, you're also helping yourself. When you celebrate another's happiness, you invite that same happiness into your own life. It's not about losing, it's about multiplying. Happiness never diminishes when shared. It only grows. It's crucial to reflect on how this impacts our daily choices. Think about how often, amidst life's busyness, we miss small opportunities to bring joy to someone else. A simple gesture, like a kind word, a smile, or taking the time to listen, can have a profound impact. When you do this, something magical happens. You not only transform the other person's life, but also your own. It's like lighting a candle in a dark room. It illuminates the surroundings and shines within you. Leibniz challenges us to take a path often overlooked because it seems contrary to the logic of modern success. After all, we live in an era that glorifies individualism and competition. But the true secret to a fulfilled life lies in breaking that cycle. When you start seeking happiness not only for yourself but for everyone around you, you change the game entirely. You attract like-minded individuals, create deeper and more meaningful connections, and open doors that once seemed inaccessible. Amazingly, this philosophy applies even to financial success. Consider successful entrepreneurs. Many built empires not by focusing solely on profit, but by thinking about how to positively impact people's lives. The same principle applies to our everyday interactions. When we show genuine interest in someone's well-being, be it a colleague, friend, or client, we create an environment of trust and prosperity. In essence, to love is to find one's own happiness in the happiness of another, is not just a beautiful phrase for reflection but a practical truth that can be applied in every area of life. It is a key to unlocking doors of fulfillment, harmony, and abundance. Now, to understand how this idea can transform lives in real and tangible ways, let's dive into an inspiring story that exemplifies the essence of this teaching. Clara's story, rediscovering true love. My name is Clara, and for a long time, I was stuck in a cycle that seemed unbreakable. I worked long hours at a well-paying job, but it left me drained and unhappy. My friends and family saw me as successful, yet inside, I felt an enormous emptiness. The happiness I sought felt increasingly distant, and gradually, I began to shut myself off. I believed that if I didn't look after myself, no one else would. Everything changed on what seemed like an ordinary day. I was at the grocery store, distractedly picking out fruit, when I noticed a little girl beside her mother. The girl, with bright, eager eyes, was staring longingly at a pack of cookies. Her mother, visibly tired, explained that they couldn't afford them that day. There was something about that moment that deeply moved me. Without overthinking, I bought the pack and handed it to the girl. Her smile was so genuine, so full of joy, that something inside me broke open. That night, as I reflected on what had happened, I remembered a phrase my grandfather often repeated: "True happiness is never solitary. It only exists when shared." For the first time in years, I began to understand what he meant. In the days that followed, I made a decision to change. I started looking for ways to contribute, to make a difference in the lives of those around me. I joined community initiatives, organized small campaigns at work to help colleagues in need, and even took the time to reconnect with friends I had neglected. And do you know what happened? Gradually, that emptiness began to fill. The most incredible transformation occurred when I met Eduardo, a coworker who, like me, was going through a tough time. He had recently lost his mother and seemed weighed down by grief. One day, after work, I invited him for coffee. It was a simple conversation, but it was filled with empathy. For the first time, Eduardo felt that someone truly cared. And to my surprise, this connection didn't just change his life, it changed mine too. Eduardo and I began collaborating on a project to improve workplace quality of life. The project grew and eventually led us to start our own business. Today, we run a company focused on social impact. And it all started with a small act of kindness. This experience taught me that Leibniz's phrase is much more than just words. It is a call to action. To truly love means making space for others, even when it feels like you have nothing to give. It is understanding that shared happiness doesn't diminish, it multiplies. If this story touched your heart, I invite you to reflect on how you can bring happiness to someone today. Apply this idea, live this love, and watch how your life transforms. Subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone who needs to hear this message, and leave your comment below. Together, we can spread this chain of love and transformation. Thank you so much for being here, and see you in the next video.